Talking with the experts.
In episode 389, Ambila Nath shares business and spiritual strategies to help people remove blocks and tap into the universal energy.
These signs, but there's just so many signs that we are being given. It could be a song you're listening to on the radio, and then, just a little sentence of it. You're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Firstly, it's beginning to tune into those kinds of things. And just the little nudges you get, which are the kinds of things of you're about to go out and your intuition goes, oh yeah, take water or take an umbrella. And you're like, yeah, no, I'll be back home in 5 minutes. I don't need water. Oh no, it's sunshine. I don't need an umbrella. And then all of a sudden you're out meeting your friend and spontaneously you start to decide to do something else. Then you really did wish you had the water and the umbrella. It's those little nudges. Start to tune into those. And then as you start to trust that, then your intuition is like a muscle. So it starts.
Talking with the experts.
Talking with the Experts would love to acknowledge Global Glamping Charities Incorporated for generously supporting this podcast. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all of its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Tell me a little bit about if you are using your intuition to align with your business, or vice versa. Are you aligning your intuition to your business? My next guest, Ambila Nath, is going to discuss with us how sharing business and spiritual strategies can help people remove blocks and tap into the universal energy. And Ambila is known for her straight talking spirituality, so I should mind my P's and Q's. She is a serial entrepreneur, an award-winning certified coach, a spiritual leader, an international speaker, an award-winning magazine editor, and an avid follower of her passions. Yes, like that. Ambila is far from your stereotypical spiritual coach with a corporate background in management consulting, and she went from a six-figure job to building a spiritual business. We'll get her to tell us a bit more about that. Her clients span over 4 continents, and she knows that the most incredible journey you can take is the one in building a relationship with yourself. She reckons life isn't complicated. We are, and I think I can vouch for that. She helps you manifest a business you love using strategies and spirituality to align your energy, shift your mindset, and create positive daily habits. The key to manifesting a successful business is knowing who you are. Welcome, Ambila, and thank you so much for agreeing to be on Talking with the Experts.
Rose, I'm honoured to be here, and thank you for reading all of that huge bio.
It's such a good bio, though. I couldn't stop it. Just some of it. I had to read it all. I don't usually read them all, so I found yours quite intriguing. So I just had to continue on.
Thank you.
And Bella, why did you leave a 6-figure business to start your spirituality practice?
Well, oh God, good question. At the age of 19, I knew I wanted to have my own business at some point. At that age, I just didn't know what it was going to be. I certainly didn't have any entrepreneurial skills to start it at that age, nor was I surrounded by anybody entrepreneurial. So the logical thing was, keep on growing in my education. So I got the degree, went into the corporate world, did wonderfully well, really loved it. And management consulting is literally all about being on airports, flying clients, taxis, hotels. People think it's glamorous, but actually it's not. It's so much hard work. And I did it for such an amount of time and I absolutely loved it. But I think you get to a certain point in your life where with that corporate job, I became a number. So it's literally just a person on the other line getting calls going, oh, you need to be, in this side of the world and that side of the world and here and there. And I'm like, but you don't even know who I am. I'm just this, person you're ticking off the sheet going, yeah, we need to send you that. So it's partly that, beginning to feel like I was a number and not really a person, but also because I was away so much, I was losing connections with, family and friends. They didn't know if I was in the country to book me, to invite me to. So, and my family became the people I worked with, which was wonderful. I loved them all and, made lifelong friendships as a result. But at the same time, I was just losing that connection with me. And I thought, okay, I can't carry this on. It's not something I can do for, X number of years. So I started thinking about now is the right time. Let's do my own business. And you get this mythical view of business because everybody goes, yeah, 2 years, you're going to make it. You're going to, be, earning your wage or whatever it may be. Not having zero knowledge apart from what I'd learned from the corporate world, I bought into that myth. I bought into the you're going to be fine when you start your own business. So therefore, I did the logical research. So I was very methodical and strategic in my approach. So I made sure I had enough savings and everything to, start my business, but also to make sure for living and everything. So I'd catered for everything. So it wasn't I'm just going to make it happen. It was a year-long plan, saved and everything. And then I took the plunge. I quit my job because again, I was getting very miserable in it. So it was an easy decision. And then I went, now what do I do? So yes, it's very much regarding getting fed up of the corporate world, feeling like I was just an entity and a number and disposable, really. And I just thought, no, I need to change my life. And I think it was also the nudges that you start to feel, because when things are constantly going wrong, those are messages. I mean, of course, if something goes, once wrong and you're like, okay, I need to get over it. But for me, it was constantly one challenge after another. And those were the universal messages that something has to change. And I just wasn't listening. So that by the time it got to me actually making the change happen, I was literally at the what I call the tsunami level. That there was no other choice but to change. Otherwise, I was on burnout. I was getting diagnosed with ulcers and high stress and everything. And so I kind of made that change.
Yeah, I did. That's a really great story, and it's a sometimes an awakening into what your calling is. Sometimes getting to that level where you've got to make the change, but you just don't know what that change is. And I got to that point in my career too. I used to work for a federal law enforcement agency some years ago, and I was really good at my job, but I just got I had 3 kids, I had a husband. So I had a family to look after. Plus I was working full time, plus out of hours. And, when was my time? I didn't have any my time. It was just work or family. And I thought something has to go. And I took some stress leave and then decided that I was going to leave because they were offering redundancy packages. I decided I was going to take one. And they begged me to stay. They actually got someone down on his knees, beside my desk, begging me to stay.
Oh, that's lovely.
And but I regret not staying now and just taking the time away from the place. But it was for my own health benefit, because I just took a total spiral after that. And then there's 3 months of my life that I have no idea what I was doing. I don't know
Yeah.
who looked after my children. I don't know who fed my husband. I don't know anything. What happened? It's just gone. So I just went into this really dark hole, and so I left it too long. So you were
Yeah.
at a good place where you left it early enough to recognize the facts. So good on you
Yeah.
for doing that.
Thank you. And I think a lot of what you were saying is people recognizing that and not feeling guilty in because yes, you need money coming in, but if you trust the universe, money is always going to be coming in. So, whether for that short time your family is helping you or friends are helping you or the state, depending on, which part of the world you live in, you will find money somehow to provide for, your meals and everything else. But if you don't have your health, then it doesn't matter if you have a 6-figure or 10-figure or 20-figure salary, because if you don't have your health, none of that matters. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's really important to listen to that.
Yeah, it is. It was a valuable lesson. It took me a long time to dig my way out of that black hole.
Yeah.
And now I've, you know, taken the plunge into business. I've taken the plunge now into podcasting. I gave my business away for a time because it wasn't aligning with what I'm feeling. But I love podcasting because I love the people I'm meeting every single day. So, it I mean, I think you were my 390th interview or something in 2 years or 2.5 years. And so I've met almost 390 people in 2 years, 2.5 years. So, people I
That's
wouldn't know
wonderful.
otherwise. And some of us have remained quite good friends after the interview. So,
Yeah.
it's been really great. So I guess you need to use in that way, I use my intuition in my business because I've realised that, I couldn't sustain this health um, work-life challenge that I was undergoing at the time. So how can business owners, I guess, start using their intuition more to guide themselves into a healthier lifestyle?
Firstly, is to recognize the signs, because we are getting signs every single day, but it's being open to knowing what those signs are. People kind of associate it with, one or two. So depending on the level of your interest, you might recognize things like, oh, feathers, falling, and automatically people go, oh, angels are there, and numbers, seeing consecutive numbers, and they're like, oh, okay, that's another sign. Or I'm trying to think of all these signs, but there's just so many signs that we are being given. It could be a song you're listening to on the radio, and then, just a little sentence of it. You're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Firstly, it's beginning to tune into those kinds of things. And just the little nudges you get, which are the kinds of things of you're about to go out and your intuition goes, oh, yeah, take water or take an umbrella. And you're like, yeah, no, I'll be back home in, 5 minutes. I don't need water. Oh, no, it's sunshine. I don't need an umbrella. And then all of a sudden you're out meeting your friend and spontaneously you start to decide to do something else. Then you really did wish you had the water and the umbrella. It's those little nudges. Start to tune into those. And then as you start to trust that, then your intuition is like a muscle. So it starts to grow and get stronger so that you start to really notice the other messages that are coming through relating to your business or a business. A lot of it is that I have always looked at people when they get made redundant. That is a huge universal sign to say that you need to make a shift and really change what you're doing. So, where people tend, touch wood, I've never been in that end where I've been made redundant, but people who get made redundant, if they don't know what their next step is, they tend to panic immediately because it's, money gone. But actually, it's taking a breath and going, okay, how can I use this opportunity? Like yourself, do I completely change my life and go independent and do what I want to do? Or do I change and then go, for another job, but change the stress level of a job that I'm doing? All of those things is the universe helping to guide you. But whether we listen to it or not is really entirely our responsibility. As much as we want to blame the universe for everything that doesn't happen in our lives, we never thank it for the things that happen, but we always complain about the things that don't happen. So as much as we want to keep doing that, it really always comes down to our own responsibility of what we're listening to and what we're actually hearing. But if you're continuously asking questions like, what am I meant to do next? Why isn't this working for me? Why does this always happen to me? Why? And all of those kinds of things. And you're thinking, why am I not getting the answers? I'm asking the questions, why am I not getting the answers? Really start to think, are you open to wanting to hear the answers? Because sometimes the truth may be not what we're ready to hear.
Yeah, I agree. It's you have to want to hear what the universe has to say. I mean, I know we're being very woo-woo at the moment. There are a lot of people who don't believe in it at all. They just believe in, black and white. Everything is just, it happens. You make things happen. There's nothing to do with the universe. It's to do with luck. It's to do with being at the right place at the right time. But that really is the universe guiding you into being at the right place at the right time.
And I completely agree. That's probably why people call me the straight talking spirituality, because we can use woo-woo terms, but it doesn't matter what language you use, the result is still the same. So yes, I'm using the woo-woo terminology, it's the universe, but actually, in order to make anything happen in your life, you have to physically take the action. The universe isn't going to sit you there while you're watching Netflix on the couch and go, yeah, okay, I'm going to just lift you up and put you in front of your PC and you're going to take action and I'm going to be tapping your fingers and everything. You have to do that. So I would probably say 80% is human, action, thought process, mindset, what you do on a daily basis, positive attitude, all of those strategic things. Then 20% is a universe helping to guide you and go kind of like, no, like diversions that you have on a Google map. If road closures, then it's going, no, you just go this way. Don't try and go through the road closure. So that's basically what it means. And it doesn't matter if you call it coincidence or serendipity, or it's all the same thing. And I'm very much about my strategies and techniques. I honestly don't want to convert you. Not that I'm a cult person, but spirituality isn't about converting. Spirituality is about, if the strategies that I am teaching you, I don't care what name you want to give it, if they work to help you in your life and your business, that's it. That is my work done. I don't care about anything else. And that's what people need to understand, that if there's a strategy, whether it's strategic, practical, or whether it is a little woo-woo, if it really makes your life change for the better, then that's a win-win.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you. I mean, and we are all vibrational beings anyway. So if you're sending out negative vibrations, you're only going to get negative vibrations thrown back at you. If you send out positive vibration and, practice a little bit of gratitude for the tiniest little things and be grateful that you woke up each day, that, good things will happen to you eventually, not when you expect them, but in their own divine right time.
Exactly. I have a saying that the universe will only deliver when it thinks you are ready, not when you think you are ready.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I agree. It took me a long time to realize that.
Yeah, because it's the universe has got the big jigsaw puzzle with a box with a picture. We don't. We just have the little puzzles that we're trying to, that we get maybe one at a time or five at a time that we're trying to fix in. So sometimes it's really kind of letting go and going, okay, we're not necessarily the ones in control, but we are, because we're the ones putting the pieces in. There's a lot of degree of patience that comes into it, whether you think of it on a practical level or your business level, but it does require a lot of patience in knowing that there's also your personal growth factor that's involved. Because the more you personally grow, everything to do with business And this is something took me years to learn, even though I was a coach from the get-go when I decided to go into business. But it was so far down my journey before I actually realized that my business growth is in direct alignment with my own personal growth, which is translated self-worth. So once I realized that, the foundations of my business became so much more stronger, whereas I was trying to build on quicksand because I just kept on going, no, it's all strategies, it's all strategies. I just need to work on the strategies and then it's all going to fit together. But actually, I didn't have the foundation. So every time I built a business, it just collapsed, built it, collapsed. And then I went, no, I need to be working on my own self first. And then the business strategies is just the next element that comes into it.
Yeah, and believing in yourself is one of the greatest things that you can do. And a lot of us, unfortunately, don't believe enough in ourselves and in our abilities and in our, I don't know, spirituality, if you want to put it that way, to be successful. And you have to do that first because no one else will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
But it's the hardest thing because the environment, 90% of us grow up in an environment where we're not fed that. My parents grew up in a generation where it's not the norm to nurture your kids and go, yes, you're powerful, you're amazing, you're wonderful, you're going to succeed. They're just like, yeah, get through school, education, get a good job, and then you're sorted for life. That's, the thinking that they still carry that. And a lot of generations, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it's the same thing, that it's, go out, get a job, earn money, then you'll be happy, you'll be fine. So it's very rare. I think the world is beginning to change now because thankfully of the internet, the amount of information people are sharing, these wonderful podcasts that people are putting out. So lots of more positivity is being shared. Lots more life lessons and stories are being shared. Whereas back in the day, it was all, no, I need to hold on to this because you're my competition. So if I share with you, then you'll succeed and I won't. And everybody was just keeping it all to themselves. And so the culture just became very isolating. And so it was hard to believe in yourself because you're surrounded by people who are either competing against you and you're being brainwashed into, no, you're my competition, so you're the enemy. They're not going, no, you're my competition, but hey, yeah, you're going to really succeed and I'm so happy for you. So yeah, it's such a huge lesson. And people do need to start to believe in themselves first. I completely agree. But now they're getting the tools to help them and people show them how they can do that. Because again, the other factor I had when it came to believing in myself was all of a sudden my gremlins came in, the feeling of guilt, the feeling of, oh my God, you're so arrogant. How could you think that about yourself? And oh my God, who the hell do you think you are? And again, all of those are gremlins that your thoughts and mind process is constantly working over to give you that thing of, I'm not arrogant, I'm just I'm good at my job.
Yep.
I'm good at what I do. And yes, stepping stones.
Yes. And start with baby steps, and work your way into those big running leaps that that we can all eventually aspire to when we start with those little baby steps first.
Yeah, tune into what I do and choose intuitively is part of my daily habit now. I've been doing it for years and years. Is that the first thing when I wake up in the morning is that I will go straight onto YouTube and I will listen to something positive while I'm, in the shower brushing teeth. It's in the background because I don't need to interact with it, but I'm listening to it. And I intuitively pick what my body, mind, and spirit needs for the day. So if I'm struggling, say, with mindset, confidence, feeling good about myself today, I will automatically probably pick something that says motivate, build your confidence, and then, put that on. So this is a great technique. Again, it's practical. You can call it woo-woo if you want to, but it's practical in helping you to start to believe in yourself because the people who are talking are motivational speakers. there are people like Tony Robbins, there are people who have been established, have wonderful tools and techniques. So you're not just listening to their story, but you're listening to practical advice on how to break your habit, how to break that pattern, how to change that thought process so that you can move things forward, and then just see how your day develops. Another thing I actually picked up a couple of weeks ago, which I've now started subconsciously doing it as a mantra, was that somebody was saying that wake up in the morning and just say something great is going to happen to me and through me. And I thought that's such a wonderful thing to wake up to, even when you don't feel it, even when life just feels absolutely crap, horrible, that you just say that, because one, as soon as you say it, you get that sense of control and peace again within you. But it's also allowing yourself to trust that the day actually isn't going to be bad, even though it feels that life is, on quicksand at the moment.
Yeah, mine is I am abundant. Good things and money flow to me easily. That's mine.
Oh yeah, no, I have loads, but that
in
was
theta, when I'm in that theta stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, just before I'm fully
Exactly.
awake.
It's whatever works for you. And I think this is the whole topic in terms of trusting your intuition in business, is that you trust what your mind and body is telling you for that day or that time to help you to get to a solution. Because as entrepreneurs, there's always going to be problem solutions, things on a daily basis, but also on a long-term basis. So trust that those solutions will come to you, but be open to it. The more relaxed you are, calm, or rather calm, the easier it is to open that gateway. The more like that you are, anxious, fearful, everything, that the more resistance you're giving to the universe. So therefore, you're not going to really get that extra help. And the help can come via friends showing up, via you getting a phone call out of the blue for a client wanting to book or buy your product, or anything. So help can come in so many ways, but it's acknowledging it as well. It's not just about seeing it, but it's acknowledging it.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. Tick, 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 tick on everything there.
Thank you.
And it's right, and it's just things that we have to learn as business owners, and as just humans, that we need to trust those gut feelings rather than listening to our ego or the little voice in your head that's saying, oh, you can't do that, or who are you to do that. Listen to your gut, listen to your heart. So it tells you the truth, your head doesn't.
Yeah, and it's knowing the difference, because as you know, I'm also a tarot reader, energy healer. So my intuitive abilities, in terms of my development, I'm not just personally developing, but I'm also doing it on the other side as well. And I say to people to differentiate whether I call my negative thoughts gremlin, give it a name, because when you give it a name, you're taking its control away. And then you can always, when you're having a negative thought that's putting you down, or whether it's about anything to do with your life, whether it's money, relationship, whatever it may be, you can just shut it down by, saying, oh, shut up, gremlin, or because then you're taking that power away. So I always found that naming it, whatever you want to name it, and then you've started taking control of it. But secondly, it's knowing that your negative thoughts are in the logical mind. So what your thinking process is, automatically that, okay, I'm thinking it. Your intuition and gut kind of sit in the heart area. So that voice comes from here. Sorry, it's actually in the heart, but so it's kind of in the heart area. That voice or that nudging or that feeling is either coming from there, or it could be actually your stomach, because both are connected together. And that's what is known as your intuition, hence why the name of it's a gut feeling, because it's something coming from deeper within you as opposed to your logical head. So that's a good way of differentiating for people who, I suppose, aren't so woo-woo or spiritual or in tune with themselves just yet, to differentiate, well, how am I going to know, what you mean.
That was
But
an excellent explanation, actually. Yeah, it
yeah,
was really
those are
great.
the good ways of knowing.
Yeah. Ambila, where can people find you if they would like to work with you or learn more about, what you have to offer?
I'm very easy to find. So just get the spelling of my name right and it comes up on Google. But I am most active on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is at Ambila_Nath. And then you will find me the quickest there, but equally on my website, ambilanath.com. And of course, you'll find me on Facebook, LinkedIn as well. But quickest way would be those two ways.
Perfect, perfect. And do you have any plans for writing a book, starting a podcast in the future?
Podcast, yes, it's there for 2023. It's in development at the moment. A book, that is weird because for the last decade, people have been saying, to me, oh, yeah, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. But I'm a strong believer that when my intuition tells me now's the time, then I will write that book because I'm not going to become an author just to have one book sitting on a shelf. So yes, one day, I just don't know when yet.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've got a book in me too, but it's not that time yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still waiting. I keep thinking, will I, won't I, will I, won't I? No, it's not the time yet. It's just,
Yeah.
it's not.
And I think when it is the time, then it's just going to flow.
Yes,
Then
absolutely.
so until then, I will do development and other projects.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a real ideas person. Like, I used to do craft work and had a Facebook craft page and
Yeah.
be thinking, I'm going to get that page up and going again. And I did. So I just opened it up again last
Yeah.
night and I'm going to clean my craft room up and I'm going to start doing crafts again because it's good for the mind, good for the soul.
It is. And when you're doing those kinds of things, and more things open up to you because you're following something that you're passionate about and that gives you joy.
Mm,
And as you were saying earlier on, like attracts like in terms of energy. So the more you're doing things, not necessarily on a paid basis, but things that make you happy, the more you start to attract, whether it's in your business, personal life, more of those things.
absolutely, absolutely. Ambila, have you got any wise words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our listeners before we finish up today?
Yes, I would basically say to people, if you are wanting to trust yourself more, I'm not going to use the woo woo terms. For people who aren't open to it, I would just basically say to them, stop putting labels on what you perceive to be woo woo, but start to actually look at, is this helping me or is this not helping me? And if it's helping you, then go forward with it. But don't worry about the labels because it's all about there's something trying to help you, which isn't human. Believe it and follow it. And if it serves you, then yeah, then you've got to win.
Absolutely. Thank you. I like that. That was great. Yes, because we don't need to label everything just because, people say we have to put a label on stuff. We don't really.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You have a lovely day and I will talk to you again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.